It's time for the Tri-Cities to look forward when it comes to minor league baseball, not in the past. Hi, everybody. I'm Marky Billson. And, the news, will the Major League Baseball season ever begin? All those, we're forgetting this. The minor league baseball season in 2020, it's not going to be played. I mean, I know there's a chance that, but nothing's official and all this, but let's face facts. They only had 5 rounds of the draft. There aren't that many new players coming in, and there were tons of releases. Where are the players going to come from that will play rookie league baseball? I don't think there are any. And so, with many of these minor league baseball teams not coming back, there is a baseball fan in Bristol, I don't know if Virginia or Tennessee, but Gary Estes is his name, and he is trying to create a letter-writing campaign to the Commissioner of Baseball, and I don't know who else, asking him, please don't destroy the Appalachian League, because, the Appalachian League is supposedly going to be contracted. Although it's not official, I can't see any possible way that it could, play this year. And he got a front page article on the Johnson City Press's sports section, did Estes, about his letter writing campaign, promoting his Facebook page about saving the Appalachian League. One day after this story runs in the paper, that Facebook page has 8 likes. And one person saying that they will participate in the letter-writing campaign to save the Appalachian League. But yet Joe Avento thought that this was worthy of writing about. The Appalachian League is gone. Okay, I know it's not official. It's gone. Here's the deal. Some of the teams that were talked about being contracted, there were 42 teams, but many of them, almost all of them, had ownership that was local. A real reason to fight to keep that baseball team in town. Hey, maybe we can get in with this league or what, there's real discussion of that. Appalachian League, all the teams are run by the parent clubs. The parent clubs are looking for ways to cut costs. They are going to contract the Appalachian League, just as sure as I'm sitting here. And so, this sort of thing, I don't know what's going to save professional baseball in the Tri-Cities, but here's what I know won't work. Asking the Commissioner of Baseball really nicely not to cut it out. It's not going to work. All right? And so it's time to think of different strategies for a new era of baseball in the Tri-Cities, and for that matter, Princeton, West Virginia, or Danville, Virginia, or wherever the Appalachian League teams are, Burlington, North Carolina, whatever. What you've got to understand is that the Appalachian League has been very poorly run for a long time. It got to the point where Boyd Sports was controlling almost all the franchises in the Tri-Cities, with the exception of the Bristol Pirates and the Kingsport Mets, because they couldn't find anybody else that knew how to run a ball club. And quite frankly, the Appalachian League is oversaturated in the Tri-Cities. You've got 5 teams in a metropolitan area of 470,000 people. Just to give you an example, in the city of New York, in New York City, with 7 million people, there are 4 professional baseball teams. The Yankees and the Mets, but there's also the Brooklyn Cyclones and the Staten Island Yankees in the New York Penn League. We have 5 professional baseball teams in an area of 470,000. It's just too many. And it doesn't create a community coming together as the Tri-Cities behind one team. It's a high school mentality. It's Greenville playing Kingsport and all this sort of stuff. And plus, even if it were kept alive in this current model, can you imagine all the public money that would be required to keep it going the way it is? You know, City of Elizabeth then really wasted $1.5 million on Joe O'Brien Field so they would have state-of-the-art locker rooms for the Elizabethan Twins. And I realized that it was demanded and it was part of, modern baseball. You're going to need that and all this. But they basically got less than 40 games out of it for the Twins. It's going to be real nice for whoever plays at Joe O'Brien Field. If it's Milligan, if it's, whoever, Elizabethton High School, in the future, they're going to have great professional locker rooms. But you took $1.5 million away from youth athletic fields and your city's police department so you could build these nice locker rooms so the Elizabethton Twins wouldn't move away. And it turns out that they only stay for one season, is what it looks like. That's a waste of money. It's a real waste of money because Milligan and the high school team and all that really doesn't need the major league standard locker rooms with a kitchen for the Twins and all this. So here's the situation. If the Appalachian League was going to stay, you would have so much public money that would have to go in to keeping it alive, so that the ballpark in Johnson City would have radio booths, so that Bristol, Virginia, or Tennessee, the Bristol Pirates, would have a whole new ballpark, which is what they need. And you just have to ask yourself, is it all worth it? Or maybe we should look to the next generation of baseball in the Tri-Cities. Plan B. Now, there's a lot of talk about a dream league, independent baseball in the Tri-Cities. Here's the nice thing about independent baseball. It's not going to ask for all this public money for new stadia that affiliated ball will. The Dream League, you're talking about something like the Frontier League, which is not bad minor league baseball. And in fact, it could be argued that the Frontier League, in fact, I've watched it, it is a higher level of ball and a higher caliber of player than what you'd usually find in the rookie leagues, the Appalachian League. I'm less enthusiastic about a college bat league, a wooden bat league in the summertime, because the way it looks right now, it looks like college baseball season is going to be pushed back a little bit. Instead of starting in February or early March, it's going to start in late March, much like the Major League season does. And the College World Series, instead of being played in June, when it does seem just a little too early for a baseball season to end, will be played in July. And so then when do the best players, those that were playing in the College World Series, when do they go to the college wooden bat leagues? Yeah, so the future of college wood, they'll still be around, don't get me wrong, but there is a little bit of, they're going to lose a little bit of luster. Now, maybe that's what you'll have. And if it does happen, that's not necessarily a bad thing, in my opinion, because you're going to be talking about a ball player that'll be more local. He will be playing for a college baseball team. There'll be more interest in local baseball. You're not going to be bringing and watching players in from, say, the Dominican Republic who don't yet speak English, who really can't be marketed. And then 5 years from now, if they make the major leagues as a utility infielder, it's like, oh, he played here? You don't remember watching him because he was anonymous when he was here. Less of that in a college wooden bat league that has to promote itself and such. Another reason I never really cared for the Appalachian League, you don't know who the players are going to be until opening day. How can you market the players that way? Anyhow, you look at independent baseball, if a team could come here with the idea and the model of a double-A team eventually coming to the Tri-Cities, if not a double-A team coming to the Tri-Cities immediately, if you can convince them that I think there are two ballparks currently that would be of double-A caliber, and one is Greenville and the other is Kingsport. But assuming you could bring in a higher level of team into the Tri-Cities, I'm all for that. Absolutely all for that. And a team that all of the Tri-Cities can get behind instead of just one town, say 12,000 people, like Elizabethton. Bottom line is this: don't try and keep what's obsolete. Let's look forward. Let's not be stagnant. Let's go to the next generation of baseball in the Tri-Cities and try to make it the best it can be instead of trying to keep what isn't even salvageable. And to be honest with you, was poorly run to begin with. I'm Marky Billson.